Welcome to Don Odells Legends. This is the Devil DJ live from Palmer, Massachusetts with Professor Louie tonight. Aren't we lucky?
Well, thanks for having me on.
Another great interview. We're very fortunate.
Thank you, Devil DJ. That's great.
Yeah, so the real name is Chris, but you can call me the Devil DJ.
Well, I'll be the Devil DJ, and I can't refuse.
What you been up to lately? You got your 17th album out.
Well, we're getting close to that, but we have 14 out.
14 out.
14 out, and we've been releasing them every like 2 a year a lot of times. This last one was called Songs of Inspiration, and then we have another one coming out soon called Miles of Blues.
Yes.
Before that was Crow and the Blues, and so we keep churning out new music because people keep coming to see us, and it's nice to play them some new things.
Yeah, thus the crow in the shirt.
Crow in the shirt, and people are always handing us clothes. This was a nice present from somebody up in Ithaca, New York, good friend of ours, and
very nice.
I appreciate that.
Very nice. Have you played Don Odells before?
No, we have never been to Don Odells, so
fantastic.
this is new to us.
Welcome.
And thank you so much. I'm glad Don asked us to do it.
Yeah, this is great. So how did Aaron Horowitz get the name Professor Louie?
Well, it came about, my middle name was Lewis.
Okay.
So people are always calling me Lewis at times, and actually, when I was born, they wanted to call me Lewis Aaron, but it was a little too close to my grandfather, so they made it Aaron Lewis. Then when I got with the band, which was the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame group, the band I joined in 1985 to start working with those guys. Their names were always used as their middle name, like Levon Helm. It was really Mark Levon Helm. It was really Eric. It was Garth Eric Hudson. And so Rick Danko and I, the bass player, became good friends, and he started calling me Professor Louie on the stage. And the name stuck. You know, keyboard players get those type of monikers, counts, dukes, doctors, hopefully not mud. So anyway, Rick started calling me Professor Louie on stage when we were doing duo shows, and he did it on a lot of television shows and radio shows. The name stuck. People started calling me Professor Louie. It was a great moniker to get by one of the greatest bass players in history and musicians. And it stuck when Rick passed away, and I wanted to keep the Chromatics going because the Chromatics were pretty much the band's backup band at the time. I would try to talk to agents, managers, and they say, well, you got to keep Professor Louie because people will come to see you. And so it stuck, and so it's been around now for about 20, 25 years.
Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah, so it was a good way to get a name like that.
Yeah, that's a great name.
Yeah.
It's very clever.
Very clever, and it was really an honor for Rick to do that. And he purposely did it. You know, he would shout it out in the middle of a huge TV show in Europe or something. Professor Louie, take it, you know.
Take it.
Yeah,
Take
so it was
it.
great. Yeah.
Now, what people might not know is you did a lot of producing for the band as well.
That's what I did for the band. I produced more songs with them than anybody in history because I was able to get along with the guys. We all came from the same background. They were a little older, but we came from the same musical background.
Yeah.
So I knew how to speak with them and talk to them and get the best I could get. A producer's job is to get the best music out of any artist. And I knew I could talk to them in a vocabulary they would understand.
Sure.
So I ended up producing probably, well, 3 major albums.
Okay.
And probably, you know, 10 or 15 major TV shows and live concerts. So maybe over 100, 125 songs. Yeah.
Wow.
So that was a good production job. And I had come from a background of steps to get to that point. So they knew that too, and they really respected that.
Yeah, that must have been a lot of fun.
It was a lot of work.
A lot of work,
It was
too.
a lot of work,
Yeah.
but it was definitely fun working with some of the greatest musicians in rock and roll history.
You bet.
To be in the studio, and if I would say, maybe we should do one more time or one thing, they would respect me enough to do it.
Yeah, because
And
that can
that
get
was
a little
great.
contentious sometimes, producer and artist.
Well, it can, and you're not always right, but you're hoping you are.
You're hoping you are.
You're hoping you are. So that was great, and Garth Hudson was a pleasure to work with because he was one of the greatest keyboard players of our rock and roll time.
Yeah.
And so it was nice to spend so many hours. I produced not only band records, but I produced solo records with the guys. I produced the only solo record with Garth Hudson, 3 solo records with Rick Danko, and I think 1 with Levon.
Oh, right.
Yeah, and 75 television shows.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's
so-
fantastic.
Yeah, musically producing.
Well, that's great history. That's
Pretty amazing. I was
Yeah.
pretty surprised I was there, to be honest.
and obviously the solo career for you has gone a long way as well.
Well, it's lasted a long time, and we have such a great band in the Chromatics.
Yes.
You know, they're old friends of mine, and they're great studio musicians. We have Gary Burke
Yep, please tell me
with the
about
Bob Dylan, Rolling Thunder Review, and Joe Jackson records.
Yeah.
Miss Marie writing all the songs and keyboards, and she was with Levon Helm and Rick Danko, and another group that we got a gold record for that sold over 1 million copies by the name of Mercury Rev. I don't know how popular they are in the States. Very popular in Europe.
Okay.
Your European following will definitely know Mercury Rev big time.
All right.
And then Frank Campbell, the bass player, who was with Levon Helm's Woodstock All-Stars. He was the music director. And John Platania, who is our best All-Star, he was with Van Morrison before Van hit it with Moondance, and Domino and John wrote all those guitar licks for Van.
Yeah.
So he's in the Rock and Roll Guitar Hall of Fame for the guitar licks. So he's been a friend of all of ours and been in the band a long time.
Well, we got a heck of a show coming up tonight.
It's a great one. It's
Yeah.
a great one. Yeah, I'm always amazed that these guys are still hitting the road and doing it up and keep pushing forward. You know?
Yeah, well, speaking of the road, I mean, everybody looks at music and concerts and artists and all of that as this big sexy thing, and you're up on stage with all these people watching you, but it's a tough life. It's a lot of time spent in a van.
It's a lot of time on the van. We used to spend time in the bus before before the musical diversions hit. But so now it is in the van. It is a lot of time. But luckily for us, we're always doing musically challenged things, so we can keep our eye on the ball.
Well, that's my question: is what keeps you going? I mean, you know.
The main thing is having music that keeps challenging us. Like today, we're going to play songs that maybe we haven't played so often.
Oh, nice.
So we're working on it all the time.
Great. A little sneak peek at the set list tonight, or?
Well, that's in my head. That's
It's
the
in the
problem.
head. Okay. All right.
We don't use a set list. The only time we do use set lists is when we have the horn section or play with a symphony, and then we have to because there'll be too many papers rustling.
And what's in the future for Professor Louie and the Chromatics?
Well, we do have the new record coming out in the fall, and it's coming into the summer. So we have a lot of festivals.
Nice.
And of course the Woodstock Festival, which is driving everybody crazy.
Yes, it is.
And since we're part of the Woodstock fabric and the
Right.
thread, we've had so many offers we can't figure out which one to take.
Oh, good.
And we're still sort of waiting for the Watkins Glen one and see if we end up there.
During the NASCAR weekend?
No, during the Woodstock Festival.
Oh, during the
weekend.
Woodstock Festival. Oh,
Yeah.
fantastic.
That's but so that's in the future, and then we just and then the fall is very booked. But we just finished making because we're in the studio a lot, and it's a tremendous backup band.
Yeah.
And so therefore we just finished doing a singer-songwriter by the name of Callie Anna in the studio, and I'll probably do an Irish tour or a European tour
Oh, fantastic.
once that record comes out.
Oh, something to look forward to
Yeah.
for our European friends. out
That's
there.
absolutely, and we do the blues cruise, so I'm always looking forward to going on the blues
Yeah,
cruise. So
great.
there's always a lot of nice things on the horizon, Chris. We're
Fantastic.
a fortunate band, and the guys work really hard on trying to put on the best shows they can.
Well, that certainly keep you going, keep you busy.
Keeps us busy.
Yeah,
us
fantastic.
busy.
Well, we can't wait for the show tonight, Professor Louie.
Well, thanks so much, Chris, for having us. Anybody who wants more info, they can go to ProfessorLouie.com.
Perfect.
Look up all the individual guys, all the records, and all the videos and TV shows like this one.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Well, thank you very much. We look forward to hearing you tonight.
Well, thanks for having me, Chris. I
All
really
right.
appreciate it.
This is the Devil DJ signing out from Don Odells Legends in Palmer, Massachusetts. We'll see you next time.